Welcome to the Let's Be Real podcast, where we are regarded to as the Starting Five. We are powered by the Binge Podcast Network, and we are sponsored by Overtime Heroics Memphis. Let's be real about Tiger King.
Wait, Tiger Kings?
Tiger
Sir.
Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin. You should have said let's be real about Carol Baskin.
I'm talking about the real Tiger King.
Evident.
Right, exactly. Tell us, the real Tiger Kings around here.
Got a couple of Tigers battling each other for a certain recruit that's coming up this week. But first, we got a guest, Mr. Darren Jeans from Overtime Heroics Memphis. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm good. I'm happy to be here. It's a pleasure to be here. You know, I told you guys before, I'm a big fan. I'm glad we were able to come together and make something happen. But I'm excited, man. I'm ready to do this. Let's just jump right into it.
Hey, you're
I love it.
You're
Me too.
Hey, Darren, I guess a couple questions for you, bro. Like, how'd you
go ahead.
Overtime Heroics started?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what happened, they actually reached out to me. They were like, hey, we have a basketball department that's just struggling. That's just struggling right now. We want to know if you want to just run it. And, you know, when somebody kind of reaches out to you, it's like, hey, come run my business. You're like, I know, especially when you don't know them. You're like, no, I'm not going to do that. But they really sold me on the fact that, hey, we're going to let you run this, but we're going to let you run this your way, you know? And when you look at companies like, I'm not going to say ESPN. I'm not the biggest fan of ESPN. I mean, they're the biggest, obviously, but yeah.
but, hey, let them know. Let them know.
Yeah. I look at when it comes to reaching out and really connecting to the people, I look at smaller companies like the one I'm with, like SB Nation, Bleacher Report at times, when they're not all over the Lakers. Even though I'm a Lakers fan, too much Lakers fan sometimes. You know, but
that's funny you say that.
but that's kind of how it was. And my big thing was, you know, when you're operating a business basically online, you got to figure out how to connect with the local communities there. So that's why I broke it up to OTH Memphis, OTH LA, OTH, Philly. So we have all these smaller companies that connects with these local fan bases, and then we can start connecting with those smaller.
Thank you, bro.
I think we lost them.
Part of this community.
There we go.
You know, that was my number one thing. I want to be able to connect to those people and let them know that we're part of that community, you know?
Yeah.
So Overtime Heroics is exactly what? Like, we all know it's definitely a great social media following, but tell us more about it for anybody who hadn't heard of Overtime Heroics.
Yeah, it's a place where you can go, overtimeheroics.com, and it's a site run by fans. You know, we cover all sports: wrestling, basketball, hockey, baseball. Every sport is covered. You know, I mentioned ESPN earlier. They've kind of modeled their structure like ESPN, but they've kind of done it their own way, to where you can get content that's specifically for the team that you're looking to get. So if you're a big Milwaukee Brewers fan, we got a Milwaukee wing that just covers Milwaukee. You know, That's probably our biggest wing right now outside of LA, because those guys are killing it. Those guys, they got I'm breaking some news just a little bit. They got Danny Green in 2 weeks. So
wow,
you know,
sheesh.
yeah.
Okay.
So they're killing it. You know, the LA guys, they got a documentary coming out in 2 weeks. You know, they're killing it. You know, so there's no reason why I feel like every other wing can't be that. There's no reason why every other wing, OTH Wisconsin, OTH Memphis, you know, there's no reason why all those wings can't be where OTH LA is right now.
Man, it's amazing how it's just kind of blown up really quickly, right?
Yeah, it is, because let's see, I just started like about a year and a half ago, right? Well, not even that, about a year ago. And I was able to, when it comes to the LA Laker wing, I was able to really get some big hitters to join us. Some really guys. I got the Lakers Central podcast. He averages close to 10 to 20,000 clicks a day. You know,
Jesus.
a
Goals
day. You know, and that's the podcast that just booked Danny Green. Like, he's got Danny Green coming on. He had the founder of Laker Nation that has over 200,000 followers on Twitter. The founder of him was on his show last week. You know, he consistently gets those guys that has a huge following, and that's what kind of helped that LA wing just blossom. You know,
right?
And that just started maybe 2 months ago, if that.
Crazy.
So, yeah, it's insane. It's insane. But you know, it's the Lakers, so they have such a large following. I knew that we had to start a Laker wing, because that would be easy to build, because the fans are so passionate about Laker basketball.
So
that's me.
So I gotta be petty a minute though. So y'all just gonna say forget the Clippers, because they there too. And eventually y'all could be LA.
The Lakers pay the bills, and come on, the Lakers pay the bills.
So the Laker fan in me is like, yes, I don't want a Clipper wing. Like, who cares? So
right.
what?
Exactly.
But the director in me knows that there's a massive following for the Clippers.
Right.
So we just launched that last week. So it's a LAC wing that just came out last week. We got about 4 or 5 writers there. Most of them are beginners, but they're really passionate and they're really good at what they do. I fully expect that wing to blow up as well, because, you know, it's a bunch of Clippers fans out there. I don't know why, but they're there.
Hey,
they just got there like 6 months ago.
Can I be petty real quick? Just a
no.
quick question. How you feel about Steve Ballmer buying the Great Western Forum?
I mean, you know, it's just another example of the Clippers trying to be the Lakers. That's if we're being honest, that's exactly what it is. It's the Clippers once again trying to be the Lakers. Oh, let me buy your old arena and we're gonna remodel it as our own thing. No. It's just them once again trying to be the Lakers. And as a Laker fan, you shouldn't really care. All right, you can have it. So what? Like, so what? Whatever gets you out of our house, I'm good.
They've been living rent-free. They've been living rent-free for so long.
Rent-free. As long as they're out, just get out.
We're gonna have to keep going, because this conversation can go so many places.
Yeah.
With this whole quarantine over there, we got to talk about what you just said for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I definitely got a couple more questions though. How do you specifically, when you're creating content, what do you look for specifically?
I look for, I'll be honest. Like, when I'm on Twitter, I'm looking. I'll use the hashtag that all fans use. Like I'll use Arkansas, for example. OTH Arkansas. That was our first really big page. Like, he has done a really good job, and that page has taken off. You know, he has players, you know, asking to give him content. He has players tweeting at him. He has he's really locked in when it comes to Arkansas. And so I'll just type in hashtag, you know, Hogs Nation, and I'll look and see, you know, what kind of content are you what are you putting out as a fan, or as a podcast, or as a writer? What kind of content are you putting out? Like, what kind of memes are you using? What kind of, like, pictures? Like, are you being creative? That's what I look at. It's easy to put out a tweet. Like, if you're a Memphis fan, a picture of a trash can, Tennessee. Okay, that's funny. Like, I mean, it's true, it's funny. But how can you take that next step of being creative? You know, how can you make that trash can and turn it into something that represents you? You know, so that's why I'm on Twitter so much, because I'm just looking. Like, I just look. I try to find these people. When I find them, I reach out. Hey, you know, we're looking for people like you, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
But, you know, when I see somebody that just tweets out the most popular picture and says something kind of funny, all right, whatever. That's funny.
Scroll.
Yeah, but yeah, all right. That's you get a like, but I'm moving on, whatever.
Mhm.
But how do you take that Tiger King meme and make it even funnier, you know?
Yeah. Gotcha.
Nice.
Cool. Anybody else got a question? I got one more for sure.
Shoot.
Get it.
All right. So what type of advice would you give somebody that that wants to be, you know, a Darren Jeans, you know, or a sports writer, or, you know, just running a sports social media page? What kind of advice would you give to that person?
Yeah, I think the best advice is just you know, people are going to tell you you can't do this or you shouldn't do that. You know, are there lines? Yes. Like, there are obviously lines that you cannot cross when it comes to talking about sports and other fan bases and things like that. But you got to do something that makes you stick out. I'll use Clay Travis as an example. I'm not his biggest fan, but he sticks out. You know, we all know who he is.
Oh, God.
Right, exactly. Like, we all know who he is, though. We all know who he is. We all know what he stands for. We all know that he just says things to get us going, but he sticks out. He's being creative. He's saying, oh, you like when I say stuff like this? Okay, well, watch this.
Right.
He understands that he has the audience in his hand, and he knows what to say to get that other side going. He's not necessarily putting out content for his side. He's putting out content to piss us off. That makes him money, though.
Right.
I mean, it's smart.
That's
I
what
don't
radio
like it.
is.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's smart. I don't like it, but it is what it is, and that's kind of how I would approach it as well. You know, if you're gonna write a recap of how the Charlotte Hornets beat the Pistons, you know, how can you make that interesting? Like what title can you come up with to make you want to read about the Hornets and the Pistons? I don't read about the Hornets and Pistons. I don't care about them
At all.
But how can you make a title say, oh, I might click on that and give you a click? That's what you got to reach for.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, before we get started, man, we can't have you going at the first lady like that, because she's from Detroit. And
Be in the other room too, so hey. She show in the other room, so hey. It is.
we can't let her listen to this with y'all. When this part of the conversation come on,
Hey, babe, from the other room.
Oh, I didn't mean anything personal by it, but you know, it is what it is.
It's fine.
Like I said, on behalf of the guys, we appreciate you know, rocking with us, man. We appreciate everything you're doing for us, and we're gonna definitely keep the good content going, man, as much as we possibly can.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it, man, because as soon and I knew I was gonna reach out to you guys weeks ago, but I just wanted to get that wing off the ground running first, you know, before I brought you guys in. But yeah, I mean, as soon as I launched OTS Memphis, I knew I was gonna bring you guys in. Like that was no brainer.
Yeah.
Like,
Appreciate
I
that.
already knew.
Appreciate
yeah.
that.
What was how did we stand out to the point where it's like, as soon as you heard, like, you wanted to bring us in, like, what was it about, you know, the Let's Be Real podcast?
I think it started, So I think it started when we brought you on our show, Coming in Hot, which is no longer going on, sadly. But
Unfortunately,
yeah, it was fun. But it is what it is with that. But yeah, I think it started then, and I think you and I think once I saw how you were, I was able to hang with them, and so that kind of got me interested in seeing what everyone else was about, you know. So I started religiously watching y'all's shows, watching y'all's podcasts, watching y'all's content, and I was interested to see if y'all could keep growing, you know. Get that website going, get the merchandise going, get the sign up for more info, sign up for newsletters, things like that. That's what I look for. You know, it's easy to open a website and have a blog. Okay, nice. But can you start a newsletter? Can you get people to sign up for that newsletter? Can you produce content when there are no sports? Like, that is something that sticks out, you know, because a lot of podcasts, it's hard.
Yeah.
Because a lot of podcasts are just dying because there's nothing to talk about. But seeing y'all continue to put out content, and not only put out content that is interesting, that you want to hear, that you want to read about. That's why.
I definitely appreciate that.
Absolutely, guys.
Yeah.
So before we move on, I'd like to say Happy Easter to those listening since we're recording on Easter Sunday. So go down the topic list. All right, first I want to talk about Memphis Tigers recruiting.
Let's go. I'm ready.
Do
I'm ready. I'm coming out guns blazing already.
Bang, bang, bang. Come
I'm
on.
ready.
We get started. We'll play our next game of Would You Rather. I got a pretty interesting one for today. After that, we'll go to football topics. Had another trade with none other than the Houston Texans again.
No. Man, they ran the summer, man. They ran the summer. Shout out to the Texans.
Yeah, we're finished with our troll. Oh, nah. We're back with trolling now. It's been a minute, so back with it again. So first up, Memphis recruiting. Mr. Darren Jeans. This is definitely why we want you to come on today.
The man knows all.
Yes,
The man knows
sir.
all.
Let it be known.
It's Friday. This recording will come out on April the 14th. On April the 17th, around 3 o'clock Central, Mr. None other than Jalen Green is supposed to be announcing his decision.
What you hearing? Like,
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I help him out right there.
Come on.
Didn't even ask a question. Just leave it right there.
We
I mean,
straight
I can-
shooters on here.
I can see the tea leaves flying around, but you know.
So I mean, you know, let's be real, right?
There you go.
There you go. Hey, podcast.
Look, this hasn't changed. Nothing has changed since this recruitment has basically started. Like, it's Memphis. Like,
Right.
I mean, and it's not because.
Oh, come
All
on.
right, we'll do some again.
Cliffhanger.
His relationship with Mike Miller is so strong that.
Hold on. Hey, Darren.
Yeah,
Hey,
go ahead.
you cut out, so could you say everything that you just said again?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, from the top.
So okay, yeah. So I'll start over. It's Memphis. It's Memphis. Book it. I'm not willing to put all of my money down, but I'm willing to put 80% of it down.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Cash money.
80%
He said
of it
cash
down.
money.
80% of it down. And the reason why I say that is because as good as Penny is, as influential as Penny is, it's not really him that has landed this. It's Mike. Like, Mike Miller is the guy that has really made this happen.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen's relationship with Mike is so strong that the fact that Memphis could be looking at a postseason ban next year literally means nothing to Jalen, because
It says a lot.
exactly because he has NBA guys that have been there, done that, saying, hey, look, we might get a postseason ban. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that's not going to happen. Next year, the NCAA may say, Memphis, you're not going to the postseason. But that's not your dream. Like, your dream isn't to play in the NCAA tournament. It's like your dream is to go to the NBA. Like, there's no, as good as Bruce Pearl is, his staff is not NBA ready this staff.
Right.
And that's what they're selling Jalen. They're saying, come play. Like, you won't go to the tournament. Boo hoo. But you'll be the number one pick.
Yeah.
You know, like, so when Mike Miller and Penny Hardaway are telling you, you know, yeah, we might not go to the tournament, but we can get you to be a top 5 pick next year. That's hard to say no to. Plus, Auburn just landed their guy today.
JT.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then they landed they took Moore from Memphis, which is bad for him because, man, he's going to be buried on that bench next year. Because
I agree.
just buried. And I mean, I kind of feel bad for him, but I kind of don't, because you kind of trashed Memphis after you know. So I was like, you didn't have to. You didn't have to say all that. Like, you could have just said, you know, it wasn't for me. I'm here at Auburn. I'm happy. You didn't have to go out of your way and say, oh, they're kind of screwing up, and James Wiseman. I was just extra. So he will be buried on the bench next year. Count it, book it. Remember I said this. I don't care.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, I mean, barring anything just catastrophic happen, I fully expect Jalen to be in Memphis next year.
Gotcha. Okay, so a question I want to ask you, and then just kind of open it up to everybody too. For those, I'm pretty sure most of us have watched Jalen's highlights. Like, if y'all could compare him to anybody, or what about his game says, like, okay, like he could potentially be like number one in this next year's like high school class. So what have you guys seen from him that you really like?
So John Martin tweeted earlier today that he kind of reminds him of Derrick Rose, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one, and I'm not gonna say he's wrong. I'm just gonna say that's big. I think he can be a Derrick Rose type player, especially if, by the way, Precious. Y'all know he still hasn't declared, and he's really excited about this upcoming week. There is a strong chance that he also comes back, not because he has to. Obviously, he can go now.
Right.
But he's looking at, we're gonna have Jalen Green next year. We're gonna have DJ back, a healthy DJ. Right now I can go 15-14, but if I come back and ball out again, I can go top 5 with Jalen. And that's kind of what that staff is kind of selling him to. Go, like, make your money. If you want to go, make your money. But we can get you in top 5 next year. So just keep your eye on that. He hadn't decided yet, but just keep your eye on that. But back to Jalen, I can see Derrick Rose. If we're comparing him to past Memphis guards, I see more of a Tyreek Evans type player, who like, we needed a player like him this year, where, like, if you need a game-winning field goal,
I've been saying it.
There it is.
I've been saying it.
There it is.
Yeah, it's like let's say next year, you're down in Nashville and you're playing Tennessee and you're down by 1 and with 10 seconds left. Jalen Green's your guy.
Yeah, and totally agree with you in that, because I think a couple of us have said that, because a lot of their losses are just like 1-2 possessions, and sometimes, like you said, Darren, like you need somebody to say, "Here's the ball. I don't care what y'all do. Just go get me a basket right there." And, I mean, the highlights I've seen from him, the man can score whenever he wants to. I saw somewhere
to answer your question, Skylar. I mean, I didn't learn about Jalen in depth until like a couple of weeks, maybe months ago, when you were bringing them up. Because I've always said Memphis needs a big guard. I love Tyler Harris. Like, he's great. I love Alo, but you need 6'5", 6'4" guards that can just get to the goal and not get knocked over. And so athletically, I'm not saying that he's like this player, but I just see like Zach LaVine. Just like off of pure like athleticism, and the ability to score. I would love to see more defense from Jalen, but I mean, college, get the ball and go put it in the hoop.
Definitely agree with you there. Yeah, so, he's a much better shooter than you think he is.
Oh yeah,
and I think I reiterate the sentiments by Savage and Darren. I think just like the Memphis guards, I thought Tyreek Evans came to my mind, just thinking that he guard that can get points anytime. And NBA guard, Zach LaVine is a real good one. Athleticism, get buckets anytime. And also what helped next season is you got the same short guards, they will be a year older.
Yeah.
They'll be sophomores. They would definitely help, hopefully lessen the turnovers. And Precious come back then. I mean, you talking possibly if we don't get banned from the tournament, talking about the national championship for real this time. I won't get excited until Jalen Green plays half the season though, after James Wiseman stuff. But
but just the whole thing was talking about Jalen Green, about what we would like to see better from him defensively. I think once he gets to Memphis, and on the opinion of Mike, he's going to buy into what they're trying to do defensively. I mean,
good point.
Memphis last season was number 1 in the nation in field goal percentage, holding teams to 35% shooting. So I don't think defense is going to be a challenge for Jalen Green. I think once he gets to Memphis and he sees what they're trying to do defensively, he's going to buy in. So.
Yeah, I agree with you there totally, because it's like you said, they have the number 1 defense in the country, Memphis, this year. And so he already knows, I'm coming to the team that had the best defense in the country. So I can't be slacking on defense because they know how to play defense.
Mhm.
But I do hear your concerns on his defensive tendencies. I also think that's just, it's high school, you know.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
dropping. They're just dropping 40, 50 a night. So, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree. Once he gets to college, I think he's going to buy in as well.
Do you know anything about? So we see his stats. So we didn't get a chance to talk about the JUCO transfer coming. Ahmad Rand.
Mm-hmm.
I know I see he averaged 5 blocks a game, but I know
that was enough for me.
Yeah, he was number 80
I
JUCO
think he
player.
was like 8 and 6 with the 4 blocks, 8.6 rebounds with the 4 blocks, something like that. Yeah. So no 4 blocks, like Skylar said. That's enough for me. We need somebody to protect the rim. So.
I saw 4 blocks a game. I said either he playing against people that are 5'5" and shorter, or he's actually really good at blocking. So I got to be good at blocking 4 blocks a game.
Yeah, it's like I said. I mean, if he averages 2 points, okay. If he averages 5 rebounds, okay. But can you give me those 3-4 blocks a game? That's literally your job next year.
Right.
Like, your job is 2 blocks. Like, that's it. Protect the rim.
Mm-hmm.
When they get past the smaller guards like Alo and Tyler, your job right there. Step up, block. That's literally why he's here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think another reason he may be here too is one thing that we really got on last year Tigers about was specifically in a big man was energy and effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think now with us bringing in somebody that can give 4 blocks a game, it shows energy, it shows effort, it shows that we got a really good chance of being a number 1 defense next year. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's a good point because I think there were times when Precious went to the bench and there was kind of like a drop off in production.
Your boy Isaiah Maurice.
I tried to be nice about it, but
just rip the Band-Aid off.
Rip the Band-Aid off. It is what it is. Like the numbers showed, you know what I'm saying? There were plenty of games, and I need to go look this up, where Alex Lomax had more rebounds than him. So
that ain't good.
Oh
yeah.
Got another Isaiah Stokes that'll be able to play. So
big facts.
That's right.
Let's hear about Rab just for a second. Y'all know I'm a Tennessee fan also. We have a player called Yee Spons. He's like 6 foot. And I guess they're about the same height and same type of athleticism, but Yee Spons had to block in every game last year. So I'm assuming he's going to be kind of like him.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Oh, and before we move on, Darren, Greg Brown, you know anything else on him?
Could they be linked?
He froze again.
Let's see.
But I should take a screenshot of how you looking right now.
Right.
There you go.
You back there?
Okay, you good?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we got you now.
All right, perfect. There we go.
All right.
Yep. So we got Greg Brown. Greg Brown is he's committing in a couple of weeks. So I know from his list of schools that he's thinking about committing to, his list is similar to Memphis. So is it possible that they could be linked, that Jalen Green and Greg Brown could be linked together?
Yeah. I wouldn't count on it.
Okay.
Greg, I'll put it this way. If DJ decides, hey, I'm going to go to the draft.
Yeah.
Then I think it's 100% Greg Brown comes to Memphis. I think the thing that's holding him back is DJ Jeffries. They're essentially the same player, and he sees that as like, you don't really need me. Like, you can't, especially if Precious comes back. Like this, it's too much.
Similar to Wofford from last year.
Yeah, it's like a Watford thing where Watford wanted to come to Memphis. Like there's no doubt about that. He wanted to be in Memphis, but he saw Precious and he was like, that's like we're the same player. So I don't see where I really fit in, So I think Greg Brown is going to be our Trenton Watford, where he wants to come here. I think his dad really wants him to come here because he really enjoyed his official visit down here. And I think Memphis was an option before that visit, but after that visit, I think Memphis was the favorite. But once they kind of saw there's really no room for me, and plus Texas decided to keep Shaka.
Shaka Mark, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Gotcha. Okay. And real quick before we move on, like, you got anybody we should keep an eye on just for transfers? Like, really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think Memphis they may look into getting maybe one more transfer, like grad transfer, but I think they got their guy. I don't think they want to. Now, Penny did say that he wants to really hit the grad transfer, the grad transfer like hard. But I think once he kind of gets that Jalen Green commitment, keeps his team together, he already has one solid grad transfer coming in. I think he's basically done with that. I'm not going to throw your names out there just because I don't want people to say, "Oh, well, he said this," and you know. But it's a few that Memphis is kind of at least keeping in contact with, but they're not really pushing hard for. You know, now if they missed on Jalen Green, yeah, they're gonna push these 2-3 guys that they're kind of in the running for. Other than that, I don't see them getting maybe 1 or 2. No, I just don't see it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. So on the flip side of that, do you see anyone possibly transferring if Jalen Green does come?
Yeah. Well, everyone says Tyler Harris. I mean, but we've been saying that since he's got here. Oh, Tyler's transferring. Tyler's transferring. Tyler's not going. Like Tyler loves.
Right. I agree with you.
like he loves Memphis. He loves playing in Memphis. He loves being a Tiger. Like. His camp doesn't. Like his camp wanted him to go to Iowa State, you know, because they knew he would get all the minutes, he would get all the shots and all that. But he legitimately just loves being in Memphis. So I don't think obviously you'll hear that, but I don't think he goes anywhere. The only player that you may look into transferring, and even still, I still don't think he will, is Damian Ball. That's it.
I can see that one.
I can see
that.
Because he's going to look around and he's going to see, all right, you got Jalen Green, top 5 player. You got all the guards from last year back. My minutes went down every single game. So, you know, where do I kind of fit in here? So I can definitely see him. Some people say Lester. Lester's kind of like Tyler. He just loves Memphis.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't see that happening either, but I can definitely see Damian Ball kind of saying, hey, I don't want to do this, but there's no room for me, so I got to go. Especially if the NCAA comes down hard on Memphis and tells its players, y'all can transfer and play immediately.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Then I definitely think Damian Ball's gone. I still think Lester would stay. But it also depends on if we land Jalen. If we land Jalen, I still think you kind of keep your players intact. But I do think Damian will go, and I do think either Lester or Boogie will go. Only reason why I didn't mention Boogie is because he's kind of already confirmed he's coming back. Plus, he mentioned he's recruiting Green hard.
Yeah,
I don't see Boogie going anywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Anybody else got anything?
Man, he came with it.
All right,
I like it. I like it.
Love it.
Auburn gonna be mad. I'm ready for it.
I'm curious to see how everything plays out, you know, externally, you know, with the NCAA, and then internally with Memphis, because y'all know I'm a big advocate for, like, how does the team play cohesively, and then trimming down the rotation once you figure out who's gonna give you good minutes and who's not. You know, it's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting.
I think it's going to be interesting to see also on the NCAA part because of what happened last year with James Wiseman. It's like, they got it completely wrong. So how are you going to continue this? Are you going to continue to make Memphis suffer? And if doing so, and we get Jalen Green to come to Memphis, it's going to turn into this potential number 1 pick is going to a school that don't even care about making a championship run. He just wanted to improve his stature as an NBA player. Then that goes to show it's like, dude, y'all really don't need it. Y'all really don't need the NCAA, especially NCAA. So it's like it's making my theory of 2 years coming true. You know.
Yeah, it took and what I say to your point, I think that's going to hold so much weight just because, like, if Memphis is able to land Jalen Green, despite everything that's going, the cloud that's over the program, to get potentially again the number one high school player in the country back-to-back years is going to send shockwaves across the country.
Only happened 2 times.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I think that's going to send shockwaves across the country to, like, for players to, like, okay, like, Penny Hardaway and his staff are, like, really out here, like, getting people, like, they're sending people to the draft. So I think that's going to be really huge if they get Jalen, and that's why I really want Jalen.
Yeah, and what I mean, the strongest recruiting tool that Memphis has right now is Precious Achiuwa. Like they're going to these guys and they're saying, "Look what we did with Precious." You know, Precious came in. He's a lottery player, right? Then he completely dropped out. Like in the midseason, you pull up draft boards midseason. He wasn't even in the first round, you know. And then he vaulted back into the top 10, top 12. That's coaching. Like that's him getting better, you know, throughout the season. Like those coaches are absolutely throwing those draft boards in those players' faces, saying, "Look, we did this for Precious Achiuwa." And if we're being honest, Precious is just freakishly athletic. He's still learning basketball. You know, imagine a player like you, Jalen. Like you know how to play basketball. Like imagine what we can do for you. You know, so exactly that's what's making these players look at the NCAA and saying, "Yeah, y'all are being unfair to Memphis, but I'm going to be here 1 year anyway. I don't care. Like, so what? I just want to get in there, put up my stats, show that I can be a good team player, get drafted top 5. Boom."
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
All right. So, like I said, great insight. Can't wait for Friday. Be ready to get excited again.
Maybe we can get him on the podcast or something. Get Jalen Green on the podcast.
Hey, look.
You never know. You never know.
I pulled up from 30 with that one. Pull up from 30 with that one.
Hey, but you Steph Curry with the shot.
Hey, look. I'm gonna try. Like I'm trying to get all of them on here eventually.
Cool. Good to this. All right, so let's move forward to our Would You Rather game. Kevin Durant started something this week. They had a whole uproar on social media, so I figured it'd be a good topic for us to discuss also. So, who would you rather have? Kyrie Irving or Allen Iverson in his prime?
Boy. I need some time.
Okay, I'll go first. I mean, I'll be the one to say it. If you give me if everything's level, if the playing field is leveled. Goodness, I cannot talk today. If the playing field is level, I'm going Kyrie. I'm sorry. I'm going Kyrie. A healthy Kyrie.
Elaborate.
A healthy Kyrie. I just think about like the finals that he and LeBron when they took down the Warriors and what they were able to do. And you think about like the performance that LeBron James had, but then you go back and look at Game 6 and Game 7, it was just like that Kyrie ball.
Yeah.
Like that Kyrie was like hit that three again with Steph in his face like from the hash to win that game. So like I always just mentally think about that. But then at the same time, I just kind of don't like Kyrie's headspace over the past couple of years. So I'll kind of lean toward like at the end of the day, playing field level, like, and I got good Kyrie. I got locked in Kyrie. I'm going Kyrie.
So let me go. I think it's a real legit debate, but I wish Allen Iverson had LeBron James and when he took that 7-6 team to that final. So I'm going with
I think I'm gonna go AI too, and here's our reason why. I look at those pre-LeBron years with Kyrie, and I look at the wins. Though they went up, like what did you do for that team though? Like your stats went up, the team stats gradually went up, but let's say LeBron never came back. Like, where would Cleveland be right now? Would Cleveland have ever gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals? Would Cleveland have ever gotten to the finals? So, and I look at Allen Iverson. He got to the finals with Aaron McKee. Like, I mean,
Big
you know,
facts.
his team was not the best. But even still, I'm not saying Kyrie's not good. I think Kyrie's fantastic. But if we're talking about Allen Iverson, I mean, the dude that made Kobe Bryant question, why can't I beat this dude? I mean, that's tough. I mean, Kobe Bryant told Kyrie, you're too young for me. And Kobe told AI, all right, I'm going back to the lab so I can figure out why you just dropped 40 on me. Like, so I gotta go with AI.
That's fair.
He said he had to go and study sharks to figure out Allen Iverson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He also said, thank God Allen Iverson wasn't 3 inches tall or something like that.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
I can really slide in. So these two are essentially the same player. You know, they're both walking buckets, crazy handle. Of course, Allen Iverson has had a lasting impact overall on the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like he changed the cultural game of the NBA.
Yep.
I grew up watching Allen Iverson. I'm sure all of y'all, watched AI back in the early 2000s. And the year that AI carried the Sixers to the finals, they were the only team to beat the Lakers in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like
There you go. Yep.
that is it for me. Granted, it was one game, game one, but he beat arguably the best Shaq and Kobe team in game one in LA.
Yep.
Stepped over Teron Lue.
Yeah.
So I think about that. I think about, his brief stint with the Nuggets. He played decently with Carmelo for a year or two, but the West was stacked. I mean, we know how stacked the West was in the mid-2000s.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Kyrie, I love Kyrie. That's like one of my favorite players right now in the game. But I don't think he could ever do what AI did for the Sixers. We saw him with the Cavaliers. Granted, he was young, but we've seen him also with talent. Arguably the best team from 1 to 15 with Boston. And he blew that up. You know. And we'll see how he does with Brooklyn. But KI, he's had the fortune of playing with LeBron, playing with KD in the future, playing with an elite level team in Boston, and AI just had Eric Snow and Dikembe Mutombo after his prime. So I'm gonna rock with AI as well.
I guess I'll go ahead and go. I'll definitely rocking with AI. Back when I was really getting into the game of basketball, AI was, my Michael Jordan as far as he barely 6 feet and he's putting up 30 points against, some of the best players in the league. Like, who's this little dude with the braids and the sleeve? Everybody had the sleeve back then.
Everybody had the sleeve, man.
Yeah. Like you said, Savage, on the cultural aspect, like Allen Iverson really changed the game as far as the dress code as well. You know what I'm saying? And once you saw Allen Iverson, you knew what you was getting on the court. You know what I'm saying? I think even taking it back just a little bit, his rant about practice. You know what I'm saying? He was going through so much in his personal life at the time, and a reporter really gonna ask him about practice. He's asking somebody who beat Kobe Bryant and Shaq, arguably the greatest team of all time. Even though it was once, he still beat them in the playoffs, and we got to give credit due when he had no help. So. Just on that aspect, and also even if you look at the draft that he came into, which is in my opinion the best draft ever, the '96 draft, you got guys like Kobe Bryant, Shareef Abdul-Rahim, Stephon Marbury, Ray Allen, Marcus Camby, Steve Nash, but the number one pick in that draft and who did win Rookie of the Year was Allen Iverson.
Yep.
So, but on Kyrie's side, Kyrie, that's the guy, in my opinion. He has the best handles I've ever seen in my life, and that does include, Allen Iverson on that list. That's something I will give Kyrie. Is dude was born to, if not shoot it, he was born to dribble that damn basketball. Like I said, his handles, what I'm saying? If Allen Iverson's a 99, then Kyrie got to be 100 in the handle. So I would give Kyrie, his mental space, would allow me to actually pick Kyrie because I love Kyrie as a player off the court. And his mental is he got to get it right. And I think him winning the championship with KD would help with that. But until then, it's Allen Iverson for me.
Yep. For me, and this was tough. I'm just gonna go with Kyrie on my end.
Thank you.
Because
I feel bad over here.
I'll go over Kyrie Irving because just to touch on AI, I understand what Allen Iverson meant culturally to basketball. I understand the one game that he beat against arguably the greatest Lakers team ever. But as Skyler alluded to, I seen Kyrie do it when it most counted in games 6 and 7 in that 2016 finals.
Yeah. He saved LeBron. He did do it.
I asked myself the what if question with Allen Iverson, like what if he had stayed that one extra year in Denver with Melo, would he have finally put those guys top? Because folks don't remember the year that he was traded. Thank you, Joe Dumars, for that stupid decision. It was basically a even swap, Allen Iverson for Chauncey Billups. And the year that Denver got Chauncey Billups was the year they went to the conference finals. And they, of course, lost 4-1 to the Lakers. And then just, of course, it was all down here from there from Allen Iverson. So, but I've seen what Kyrie has done, and I know the whole thing with this whole mental illness thing that he possibly could have going on. That could be a case, but I think he's just ready for Durant to get back, and we're just going to see what else that we have in store for him. And, of course, I'm pretty sure he wants to prove himself after what transpired in Boston as well. So give me Kyrie on that one.
Can I say something real quick about so we can probably all agree offensively that Kyrie and Allen Iverson probably tit for tat, but Allen Iverson was getting them pockets, man. Allen Iverson was getting them pockets on defense, man. So, I mean, I would have loved to see AI guarding Kyrie. You know, I ain't saying AI is he's not an elite defender, but he can get the ball. Like, he's had some years where he averaged, like, almost 2 steals a game, which is that's a lot.
Yeah, he's led the league in steals a few years. So,
right.
Absolutely right.
So, like it's 4-2.
I just want to let the listeners know that this is a legit debate. I see arguments.
It's a legit one.
You're like, what? Y'all compare him to AI? Like, man, get you.
I think in this day and age, it's kind of getting hard, especially for us millennials, because we saw Allen Iverson or people like Allen Iverson growing up, and we're seeing Kyrie go, and it's like you comparing a current player to a legend, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we even over the internet, they had Usher in the Weekend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we got our legends, but there's also people that are doing great things in this society. Right. Of course, we want them both great, but there is, such thing as healthy debate. It's one we just had. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Right. All right, let's get ready. Back to football. We are a week or 2 weeks away from the draft?
2 weeks away from the draft.
Yes. Times are ticking.
Yes.
Talk more in depth about the draft on this week. But the Houston Texans, Mr. Bill O'Brien, made another trade. It was a swap with the not St. Louis.
Los Angeles Rams.
LA Rams.
They should still be in St. Louis, but hey, it is what it is.
And ironically, that's the team because LA, I guess they had signed Todd Gurley and Brandin Cooks to those extensions at the same time. So now both of them are gone 2 years later. But they traded him to the Houston Texans for a second-round pick in this year's draft. And they traded Brandin Cooks in the 4th-round pick in 2022 for a second round in this draft. And apparently, Brandin Cooks is getting paid about $4 million more than DeAndre Hopkins was.
Wait, what?
Wow.
DeAndre Hopkins to more money is why the reason they traded him. So.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah,
I didn't either. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, I like to take a stab at this first because I'll be brief.
Please, because I'm over here mad.
Honestly, at first, hearing Brandin Cooks going to the Texans didn't sound too bad to me, honestly, because you do need to have somebody to throw the ball to after you just got rid of the best receiver in football. So Brandin Cooks is very consistent. He can catch the ball. But other than that, like he's a great player, especially if you're trying to build something in Houston. But the fact that what I just found out, he's getting more than what you would have given the best wide receiver in the game. LeBron should be fired. He should be fired straight up. Like I tried to give him the benefit of a second round is a little bit too high, but at the same time, dude, come on, man.
Thank you, too. Thank you, because I was about to say the exact same thing. I mean, if we're gonna call an ace an ace, we call a spade, and the title of this show is called "Let's Be Real." If this was a black man, he would have been fired. Okay,
Yeah.
This was the string of transactions that this man has done, really since the Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I really don't understand how this man has a job. I mean, the transaction, the bad transactions that he's done, the poor coaching that happened in the past year's playoffs it's too much for me, and I'm just pissed off that he still has a job because I don't know, my head hurts. My head hurts.
I love me. I'm a Titans fan. I love it. So.
Of course you love it, Shark. Of course you do. Well, for me, and I will reiterate this, if I am Deshaun Watson, I go to Bill O'Brien and I ask for a trade immediately.
Yeah. You go to the president. You go to the president. You don't even talk to Bill O'Brien because he ain't gonna do it. Talk to the president.
Go to the owner. There's a problem and ask out. Like, I'm not sold on this receiving core with Brandin Cooks as your number one guy. Like, Brandin Cooks hasn't been the same really since he left New Orleans, and really fell off when he took that hit in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. So, throw that nugget in there as well.
Savage.
But I'm just not sold on this receiving core, like with him as your number one. And then you also have Kenny Stills, who's
will be number 4.
Not the same Kenny Stills that was in Miami. And Will Fuller is in and out of the lineup, so like
he can't stay healthy to save his life.
Exactly.
That boy stepped on a penny. He tore his ACL.
Again, hashtag free Deshaun Watson. Like, Deshaun, get out of Houston as soon as you can, man. Like.
I got something for y'all. Don't forget they signed Randall Cobb to a 3-year, $27 million deal, $18 million guaranteed.
Free Deshaun Watson, dog.
And to bring some kind of perspective in, DeAndre Hopkins is 27, Brandin Cooks is 26. So,
free Deshaun Watson, dog.
free Deshaun Watson.
I think I'm with y'all. I mean, that wide receiver core, it on paper, to the casual fan, it might look good, you got Brandin Cooks, you got Will Fuller, but neither of those guys can stay on the field. Like, that's the problem. They cannot stay on the field.
Let's not forget David Johnson is also their running back.
You got David Johnson.
Can't stay on the field either.
Exactly.
Come on, you got David Johnson as your running back. Oh my goodness. So I'm with you. Deshaun Watson needs to get out of Texas. How likely is that? Is the question.
Right.
It's tough, because it's not the NBA where like AD can say, hey, I want to go to LA, make it happen, boom. With the players just don't have as much power in the NFL.
Yeah,
but whatever he needs to do, I'm with you. If I'm Deshaun, I'm on the phone with my agent right now, trying to figure out how to get out of this situation, because it is. I think the best thing Bill O'Brien has done is bring in Larry Tunsil. I think that was a good move. He is the best left tackle in the league. Speaking of best, Tuki mentioned that the best wide receiver is in Arizona. I find that funny because I thought he was in Atlanta.
Hold on. First of all, we are not going to sit here and talk about Atlanta, who literally stole the same design of jerseys from one of my favorite movies of all time.
Meme machine.
Can't even say that they get out of here with them.
Oh, no. Since we on the Falcons real briefly, like, how you guys feel about Ty Gurley choosing to wear number 21 in ATL without Deion's blessing, apparently?
No, Deion said he was I just saw Deion said he was joking when he told him not to wear it, but we don't know if he might be joking or not.
Who knows?
Well, I would have told him no. I would have said, you can't wear my jersey. What have you done to wear my jersey? That's what I would have said. I understand he had a good few years, but these last few years have not been pretty. I would have said no. We're 22. He ain't wearing 21. But you was wearing my jersey.
Oh man, I love it.
No, I'm sorry.
Might say World 1 2.
I'm folks gonna go out and sign Paul Crew in a minute, bro. That's what y'all don't
know. Going back to Houston, I have nothing to say about Houston. I said it last week. I've seen the story before. I know how it ends. Y'all know Chip Kelly. That's all I'm saying. Get him out there while you can. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man, y'all boys funny.
Yeah.
Right. I will say one thing. one team you want to watch in this draft and this season. I think they're going to make some big moves on draft night. I think they're going to surprise some people this year. Are the New York Giants. I said it.
What?
I'm going to stand by it. And I won't. If anybody's got a problem with it, they can come at me about it because Danny Dimes will be MVP in the next 3 years.
Who?
You know what? That is part of our scrolling on, and we're going to come back to that.
Hey, Darren, real talk. Are you a Giants fan, Darren?
Yeah, he's a Giants.
Absolutely.
He's a Giants fan.
I can't remember the last time we lost to y'all, man. I can't remember.
So
you know what?
I know.
I don't even have. I'm an Eagles fan. I don't even have beef with like the Giants. I more so don't like the Redskins and the Cowboys, but Giants. I feel like it's like a guaranteed W every.
The New York Giants. Look. We've been the doormat of the NFC East for the past 3-4 years. That ends
a long time
this year. That ends on draft day when we trade our number 4 pick and we trade for more draft picks and we become the best team in the NFC East. And I hope the Dallas Cowboys get – I see you laughing, Scully. It ain't that funny. It ain't that funny.
Bro, where is Sheedy when we need him to defend the Cowboys?
Where is Sheedy?
I'm telling you.
You came on the right episode there.
I'm
You came on the right episode.
You got the best running back in the league. You got Danny Dimes.
He got a nickname?
Yeah, that's the nickname. That's
you.
apparently his nickname.
I like Danny Dimes.
Yeah.
I like him, but he
It's
is
nice, though. It's
You
nice.
got to deal with Winks 2 times a year.
You know you got to deal with that sophomore slump too, right?
Danny Dimes doesn't have sophomore
Danny
slumps.
Dimes. That's worse than my nickname for Kirk Cousins.
Danny Dimes doesn't have sophomore slumps.
Let the man have his time. So hey, you said the same thing about Baker, and we told you about the sophomore slump. You're supposed to have a game tape on him. So let the man have his
funny.
That's
And
why
what's funny
Danny
is-
Dimes don't have a nickname.
And what's funny is Baker Mayfield opened his mouth about Danny Dimes, and Danny Dimes balled out last year. Now, granted, he fumbles too much. That can be fixed. But other than that, Danny Dimes is a stud.
Now I need to be Danny Butterfingers.
He's a stud. I would go as far as to say that some people will call him the NFC, the NFC's Patrick Mahomes.
Bro, I'm about to end this call.
Okay, yeah.
What has happened over the past 10 minutes?
Hey, Shark, girl.
We was on point now.
Hey,
we was in the
Shark.
right lane.
Hey, Shark.
They call.
All the way up.
Hey,
Boy,
Shark.
Darren came with some breaking news today.
Hey, Shark.
Bring it in.
That's what you told her now in a second, bro.
Shark, bro. We
Bring
need.
it in.
Hey, Shark. We need to implement a new rule for guests. Put them in like a 2-minute jail or something to where they can't say a word.
Around the horn, just mute.
Or like,
Around
yeah,
the
just
horn.
mute.
Have y'all noticed? Have y'all noticed his confidence with this? Like Darren's confidence has been like at an all-time high. He's been waiting to say this for like 3-4 weeks. Like he is talking trash today.
I'm telling
here
you.
for it. I'm here for it. I don't care about
I'm
the
telling you.
Y'all better in the fall.
Y'all better bookmark
That's why I
this
said we need
episode.
Sheedy on here and just let the
I'm
NFC
telling
East
you.
just debate it out.
Okay.
Y'all just debate it out.
Okay. Really?
Oh Lord.
All right, one last thing.
Oh, my
before we
God.
get to going on. Apparently, we already started, but one last thing, bro. Pull up. Got a bottle of water. Y'all got something to drink, man. Like, rest in peace to the XFL.
For now.
Yeah, I'm hoping it comes back. They apparently don't plan to come back next year in 2021. From what everything I saw, it said they laid off all employees. They're not planning to come back.
Golly.
Coronavirus. Maybe.
Coronavirus did
Also.
still doing damage.
But
Do y'all think the XFL gonna come back eventually?
2022. I think so.
I think the NFL gonna either have to make their own league and do it that way, like a development league. But I knew this was gonna happen even without the coronavirus. Like nobody. I'm for real. Nobody cares about spring football. I don't care what anybody say about the crowds, the excitement. Like this is just an inferior brand of football. This honestly might be the 4th best football we have in the country. you got NFL, you got college, you got high school, then you got the XFL and the AAF.
Woo,
Nobody
high
cares.
school.
High school.
Wow, no, high school.
I'm telling y'all, go to Texas. Go to Texas and watch high school football. Well, actually, no, it's probably fifth because community college football with Last Chance U. I'd rather watch that than watch XFL.
What is going on today?
I'm just saying.
Feel straight this year, bro.
Yeah, the XFL is actually pretty
though,
decent.
but it was,
I watched no AAF game. I watched no XFL game.
Feels much better than AAF.
Hey, I'll tell you this, it was
I
much
saw
better.
PJ Walker highlights.
I was it. Much better.
Boy, y'all talking trash on here. I think at the end of the day, my quick thought of it is just at the end of the day, NFL reigns supreme. I mean, you can try to come up with the AAF, you can try to come up with the XFL. We'll just look at y'all like, okay, cool. We may get somebody to draft 1 or 2 of y'all players, and then okay, cool. Let us know when y'all done. The NFL at the end of the day, they reign supreme. Like Seven said, nobody cares about spring football, even though the XFL was a little bit interesting, just a little bit. At the end of the day, the NFL reigns supreme.
Here's what I got to say to that, because I agree somewhat with that, but you got to think the NFL been around for many, many years.
Yeah.
That's one. Number two, they really, how I want to say this, their brand is becoming so iffy to the point where it's like somebody could possibly come in and take them down in like maybe 10 years, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The XFL, they had a great plan. They executed. Even in the AAF, like when we went to the Memphis AAF games, they were doing things that no NFL team were doing. They were interacting with the fans. They were providing more of an experience other than, just going to watch a football game. And I think at the end of the day going forward, that's going to be really important. You know what I'm saying? Especially if there are no black owners still in the NFL after the many years that they've been established. I think at some point it's going to become an issue. And we're seeing that already with the NCAA.
My rebuttal of that is this right here: money.
Thank you. I was just about to say that.
You can. All this sounds nice in theory, but if you want to do a race thing, the race discrepancy as far as money is a huge gap just based on generational wealth.
Yeah, but I live by the mindset like, bro, what goes up must come down. If your foundation is weak, then
that's true. But 19 years, maybe 100 years, when we won't see it. Because think about the race, wealth discrepancy. Slavery ended in the mid 1800s, and of course we got some black millionaires, but it's way more white billionaires, probably. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it might be cute for like 1 year, but NFL got so much longevity and so much, to be honest, old money that's invested into it. It's going to be hard unless the NFL owners just say, you know what, screw the NFL, we'll make our own league, do something else.
If I can get a guaranteed $100 million check.
And that's chump change for people like, Steve Ballmer. You know what I'm saying? Like NBA. So, you can give me a $100,000 check, I'm happy.
Man.
I think the XFL provided a blueprint to, if you wanted to take down the NFL, I think it provided a small blueprint. You look at the fact that you could hear the coaches, you could hear the different interactions. If a league were to go against the NFL, that's how you do it. Make the fan really feel like they're on the field. And I guarantee you the NFL is going to implement a lot of those things in the next few years because they saw how interesting that was. I watched a few XFL games. They weren't bad. They were watchable. They were good. I think obviously the virus hurt, and knowing Vince McMahon, he's going to bring this back. Like he's going to bring this back.
Especially when you got wrestling on ESPN.
Considering he sold so much of his own WWE stock just to buy that, knowing Vince McMahon and how he is, he's not going to just let that go. Like he's going to go back to the lab. All right, this worked, this didn't. He's going to do a relaunch, a massive relaunch. I guarantee you in about 2 years. So I do think it's done right now, but I do think
2022.
back.
I'm telling you.
That's what McMahon wants. He wants football. I don't think because wrestling, there's a wrestling contingency, but I think football is king. I think that's what he wants. He wants to give wrestling to Triple H, and he want to do football full time. That's what he wants.
And if, like in 2 years we playing touch football, in the NFL. Just saying, guys. I'm just saying, you got to put it out of. I know money is king, but at the end of the day, if I can't watch Tom Brady and nobody get knocked upside their head, what you know what I'm saying? I may just wait until the XFL to watch some real football, especially for the traditional American who loves their football. If I'm not watching nobody get hit, why am I watching?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's how I feel, and I get y'all with the money is king. I get you, but you know, viewership is viewership.
All right, let's go ahead and move forward since Darren he already started this, but
he started this already.
Yeah, he probably.
So
Fine by me.
Yeah, I'm geeked up.
I know we're supposed to be working on another song, but I keep hearing that every single week, and I'm like,
it's beautiful.
That's a hit.
It's beautiful.
That's a hit. We'll mess with that in 10 years.
Just ride their way.
All right, who got? Well, y'all just want to get back with Darren on this New York Giants one. And
he called him Danny Dimes.
I called him Danny Dimes.
That's his nickname. I'm telling you.
I knew who he was. I knew who he was referring to, but I thought that's just kind of something he made up on his own, like right then and there. Like he said that as if like that's a legit nickname for Daniel Jones. And I'm just
I'm checking out Pro Football Reference right now. They literally have Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes.
Yo, look, hey, Danny Dimes is
I get that.
It's a lifestyle. Like it ain't for everyone, you know. Danny Dimes, look, he's dying. Look, Danny Dimes. I'm telling you.
You laughing for a reason. That's why I'm laughing. You laughing for a reason.
You watch him when he drops back in that pocket. And he does it little shimmy. He does a little bit, and then he jumps a little bit, and he just and the way that thing lands in the receiver's hands is beautiful. It is a sight to see, and I'm telling you, the next 2 years he's going to take this gigantic step. Now I mentioned earlier that he is the NFC Patrick Mahomes.
My next.
I mentioned that, right? Hey. I mentioned that. I should have said Tom Brady because he's going to win multiple titles in New.
You know Tom Brady in the NFC, right?
Well, Carson Wentz is in the NFC East.
But then he'll be gone. I'm not.
You know Drew Brees still in the NFC, right?
Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz can't stay healthy. I'm talking about Danny Dimes right now. I went there. I'm talking about Danny Dimes.
Oh man!
I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling y'all.
Okay, so basically what Darren is saying, troll or not, Danny Dimes will win multiple Super Bowls.
Man, you troll, bro.
He muted me. Look, he will win. He will bring at least 2 Super Bowl titles to the city of New York.
Can I say this? Let me say this.
You say troll.
This is a troll. Okay, let's say this. But if this were to happen, yeah, I would absolutely love it. I would absolutely love it because if my Steelers won't be doing anything, as long as the Cowboys don't win, I'm totally okay with that. So let's get that out the way. The Philadelphia Eagles. I really like the Eagles, but they piss me off. I don't know what they're doing. They have good talent. They have good front office. But what they put on the field sometimes week to week absolutely pisses me off. So
I'll tell you what they're doing. They won their Super Bowl, and then they just stopped caring. They said, "We got our one. We're done. That's what they're doing."
Average.
I mean, with all due respect, I'm sorry, but that's exactly what happened. They got their big win.
I'm a reserve judgment on the Eagles until after the draft because if they don't come out the draft with 2 receivers, then I'll be mad because part of me is saying I know that we won't be as good next year. I feel that way just based on how. But that's not into the draft though. I see the draft, we get receivers, cool. But I know damn well it ain't gonna be no Danny Dimes and no Giants. Like it'll be the Cowboys probably, that make the playoffs. But I mean, I guess I say that because the Giants cannot beat the Eagles. Like I haven't worried about y'all in like 10 years, to be honest. There was a stat.
Wow.
There was a stat that said Donovan McNabb still has more wins, as many wins the past like 12, 14 games that Eli Manning has with the Giants versus the Eagles matchup. You know the last time McNabb played for the Eagles? It was like 2009, 10. Like Eli maybe won like 1 or 2 games against the Eagles the past 10 years. And Danny Dimes lost last year like 34 to 10, something crazy like that. Like, and then Eli played against us and we still beat y'all. Y'all could have won, but y'all didn't win. I ain't worried about the Giants, man. These little Giants.
I'm in the comments.
Let me reiterate your show now. You saying he's going to win 2 Super Bowls in his career?
2 Super Bowls and the MVP in 2 years.
In MVP? Go ahead and add one more MVP. I didn't say one. I didn't say one. Yeah, write that down. I didn't say one.
I respect
in MVP. He's gonna win.
I like Darren, man. Yeah, he round his team though. I like that. I'm real. I like that.
And I will say this: you brought up that very interesting stat about Eli Manning and Donovan and blah blah blah. I've been done with Eli Manning for about 5 years, so I can care. I think I can care. I've been done with him for about 5 years. Okay, I'm all on. Like obviously, I'm Danny Dimes or bust. And I was saying this when he came out of college. And when everyone killed the Giants for picking him, I was like, I don't know, that dude can throw, like he can ball, and he played well last year. Like he definitely overachieved.
Yeah. He had like 24 touchdowns, I think 25.
Yeah, and I'm the only thing like I mentioned earlier, you got to stop fumbling. Like it's not even interceptions, you just fumble. Like you just give the ball away. If he stops that, 2 p.m.
Okay. I would definitely keep in touch with you for the fall if we have football. I would definitely. Matter of fact, what's your Twitter handle so I can follow you? Let me make sure.
It is at two
words for you.
At 2 words for you. At 2 words for you. YA. Yes. Capital T, capital W, capital F, capital Y.
Right now. Shout out to this Kobe Bryant banner, my guy. I just followed you.
That's me. That's it, man.
If all this is true, I'm taking Darren to the casino. Like,
you're going down to Tunica, my guy. To Arkansas.
I will pick you up. I will pay for your seafood buffet. We going to the casino that night.
Flying out the Vegas.
Can't wait. I'm telling you, man. Y'all better look out for him. Our offense is on the rise. Great offense. I'm telling you.
All right, can't wait for it.
We got enough trouble now, man.
I'm out. I
got nothing on else after that.
Good luck following me.
Yeah, I actually got one, but I don't think I can actually follow that.
Might as well just throw it out.
Go ahead, too.
I'm gonna throw it out because it's something I think we should talk about. But after Danny Dimes, I think we should.
That's a lie.
That is a lie.
Danny Dimes. That's my guy.
All right, so moving on to basketball, where the real dimes are thrown.
Hold on,
we're gonna start wearing dimes.
Hold on, before you go. Well, who had the commercial dropping dimes? That's all.
That was a State Farm. Kevin Love.
Yeah.
That's your man, Danny.
Said Danny Dimes.
Of all people.
My man too.
You good, bro? You good? All right, so I'm not sure if it's fake news or not, but there are a lot of sources saying that Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert's relationship is kind of like on the fence or whatever. They really don't rock with each other, I guess, over the whole coronavirus thing. You know, some people think that Donovan gave it to Rudy. Some people think Rudy gave it to Donovan. That's created a whole backlash, whatever. So kind of got me thinking, like, if I was the GM for the Jazz and I needed to trade one of them or both of them, I think the perfect team for Donovan Mitchell would be the Toronto Raptors.
It depends on who
is Toronto giving up.
They can give up anybody but Pascal.
So OG.
So probably OG. They probably keep Kyler. Probably Van Vliet.
OG, Norman Powell.
The question that I have, is, how good do y'all think Donovan Mitchell is? I don't think he's that good. This is my opinion. I don't think he's that good.
I don't think he's an option on the championship team. Good.
Like, I wouldn't get no first round pick for no. I mean, I just.
I'm not giving up the first one.
Man.
The only way I would give up a first round pick for him if I'm someone like the Lakers or Boston, where I don't really need my picks. You know,
Exactly.
I can get players in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm someone like Toronto, no, I'm not giving up first round pick for Donovan. Nope.
And then you talking about OG Anunoby and all these other players. Who's a Norman Powell? I think they got some good depth, but
Good players, but
Mitchell don't play defense, dog. He's 6'2", play shooting guard. You know.
I would say this though. I think if I'm Utah, I wouldn't trade Donovan Mitchell in that situation. I damn near couldn't care what I get there because I think at the end of the day, because you're in Utah, Donovan Mitchell's going to sell more tickets than Rudy Gobert does. I just think personally that's me. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Donovan Mitchell's okay, but like you said, I wouldn't put him as like a number one option on the championship team, but I could definitely see him as number two.
Oh yeah.
So I would say that, but I would, like I said, I would keep Donovan Mitchell before keeping Rudy Gobert because you can go find another center.
Donovan Mitchell, I got two things I'm saying. Donovan Mitchell is like a third option for me, me. And also Donovan Mitchell he's basically Eric Bledsoe. This is how I feel. Like
What's the name of the show? If you want to
I'm just saying, like Eric Bledsoe is the third option in Milwaukee. Like I'm
ready. In the playoffs, they both kind of did the same thing in the playoffs last year. Mitchell was number one option versus Eric Bledsoe being like a number.
Yeah, and Bledsoe can be. We've seen him as number one option before. He put up buckets, but it's like they're the same player.
Yeah.
Scott, I don't like 6'1" shooting guards. I don't rock with it. I just don't rock with that, man. I need 6'7". I need length.
Yeah, I know.
I definitely rock with you on that one. The reason I said the Raptors is because I think that Donovan Mitchell, he has so much potential. And I think Nick Nurse could get that potential out on, for the point being that we saw, Pascal Siakam emerge. You know, he won Most Improved Player last year, and he damn near could have won it again this year, honestly.
You know what, too? He will be the third option in Toronto because they got Van Vliet, Hall of Famer Van Vliet, man. So
exactly.
Hold on, but still, at the same time, even like we can joke about it, but we've seen what Van Vliet is, you know, because in Nick Nurse's system, we've seen OG come. I don't know. We've seen literally, you know, top 10 Kyle Lowry come and resurrect his career down there, and like people are calling him like Toronto's best player ever. You know what I'm saying? That's people are saying that, and that's because of Nick Nurse. So I think Nick Nurse has the potential to be a great coach in pushing his players and getting the best out of them. And I think Donovan Mitchell at this point really needs this because, you know, he's in a good system in Utah, but, you know, it's pretty stagnant. It's honestly kind of boring watching the Jazz play.
You know, we're not even having this conversation if the Thunder had Andre Robertson and Melo knew how to guard the pick and roll. We're not having that conversation, but it is what it is.
Sound like you heard about that one, buddy.
Oh my God. You okay there, bro?
Sound like it's pretty hurt. And we're not gonna let the fact that Stafford's called Fred Van Vliet a Hall of Famer. We're not gonna let that slide.
He been saying he got Hall of Fame Van Vliet just like I got top 10 Larry, you know. Kyle top 10 player in the league, baby.
Top 10 Larry.
Who messed up the All-Star game by taking charges left and right, and then
top 10 Larry. He was on the end of the court at the All-Star game, bro. That should say something. He's a top 10 player, bro.
All right.
And thank you, Nick Nurse.
Before we end this show, first condolences to our fifth member, Sheedy. He's traveling back from Cleveland right now, so just keep him in your prayers, family.
Yes.
Congrats to Mr. Future Girl Dad and Skylar.
Man, pray for me. Look, y'all. Look, real quick. We got to hit it big because I'm broke already. You hear me? I'm broke already. So we gotta get big. Like, keep saying these trolling knowledge. We're gonna get some clicks, Darren. We gotta get you to come back soon. So we gotta get some money real soon because I got a girl on the way. Y'all, please pray for me. But I'm excited. I'm very excited. Thank y'all.
All right, man.
Check out his live DJ performances on Facebook. Facebook Live. And one last shout out with Darren. You're an actor also, so tell the people a little bit about your acting chops.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just like y'all gonna bring. Okay, so y'all did some research. Look at you doing research.
Come with
Look at y'all doing research. Yeah, man. That's my passion. That's my that's what I want to do. Like that's what I've been trying to grind for years and years, and finally got some stuff that's going the way it should, and got some things coming out. Got some things I'm working on. It's really exciting. So. I appreciate you bringing that up. Look at that.
You are here, right?
This some digging.
Right. Look, when your teacher find out you did your homework.
Yeah. You did your homework.
Piece of party in here.
Got you qualified.
Right.
Yeah,
That's when you walk in the classroom and got the TV in the front with the.
Yep.
Oh Lord. Look at y'all. But it's all coming together. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Definitely be back on soon.
We got to, man. This was
yeah, anytime. Anytime.
Great. This is great.
This is Danny Dimes. God damn. I'm thinking about that all night.
Take that home with you. Danny Dimes. I'm telling you, it's real.
I ain't got nowhere else to take it.
I'm telling you, man, it's real. Like,
I'm gonna be mad because I'm gonna be mad because I'm
telling
gonna wake up at 4 a.m. and think about Danny Dimes. And I'm
Danny
so
Dimes.
pissed.
I'm telling you,
pissed.
when you get bored, you scroll Giants Nation Twitter. You will see us going crazy. Danny Dimes gonna ball out next year. I'm telling you, it's real.
Start
Go
getting
there
the
and
podcast.
just look.
I'm gonna throw all my dimes out the house so I don't think about them.
That is so disrespectful. You better not throw them dimes at the house.
Man.
All right,
Let me make sure you see this right here.
Wait, do that.
That's a Danny Dime for you. Try to do your thing, brother.
all right, sorry, you just podcast.